And I was like, there's no way, you know. So I was like, let me give it a few days. Let me give it a few days. Because remember the other day, if you were on my live stream the other day, we were talking about, I know he didn't just get 43 years. There's absolutely no way. That had to be a different Tim Norman. That had to be a completely different person the public is talking about. YouTube is wrong. There's no way that this could have just been 43 years. There's no way. And I was right. I was right. Not one life sentence, but two. You're 43 years old. Your life has been cut off. You're never coming out. Mind you, this is the same idiot that was in prison before for 10 years. So you're in prison for 10 years for stupid theft, partially kidnapping somebody. I'm talking about holding up random stores and whatnot at gunpoint. So of course they're going to say, well, this guy is dangerous because he has a weapon, he has a gun. So you keep doing stupid stuff, you keep going to jail, you end up in prison for 10 years, you get out, you're handed an empire because Miss Robbie, we've already determined that Miss Robbie is a millionaire. She's a millionaire. We know, regardless of if Miss Robbie stops, if she just shuts down every sweetie pie, ever, she's still going to be a millionaire for the rest of her life. And whoever she passes down her, millions to, her empire that, she spent all of her life to build, because she took the Tina Turner money to build this thing. She didn't even have to go in debt to start Sweetie Pies. Understand what I'm saying? And this is the empire that Robbie Montgomery handed to you on a silver platter. And this is what you do. Are you have to be insane to think that $450,000 is worth a human life. I mean, seriously, you have to be one of the stupidest people on the planet to think that 450, like, you could have went to the bank and got that. You're a celebrity, right? Celebrity status. You're all over the place. You're doing interviews, you're walking red carpets. So what bank is going to turn you down? So you can go and you can get a loan, or you can, go to your money guy. Every celebrity has a money guy, right? Go to your money guy and say, "Hey, I'm in debt. I need some help," and work it out. You're working on it, you're trying to get another show, you're doing all these interviews, all these podcasts, talking about yourself in the third person. So obviously you think you're all that in a bag of Doritos, right? So why not try to work it out instead of thinking that this was the better option? So here you have Ravel. You go into this, right? And welcome to everybody coming in. Glad to see you here. You drug Travell into this. Now, here you have Travell who has the gun in his hand. Okay. And he pulls the trigger. And in exchange for that, after we found out that there was not one, not two, but three bullets that ejected from that particular gun, there were other fires that happened. Multiple people got wounded. Andre is the one that's life was taken away. And all of this over $5,000. Now, you are sentenced to 32 years. And you just started your sentencing last October. They shut the bars on you in October. 32 years, you're only 31 years old. You gave your life away for $5,000. Who thinks that this is a good idea? First of all, who trusts Tim Norman in the first place? Who trusts Tim Norman? Who said Tim Norman has the master plan and that this would Tim Norman has to be to convince people. And then you've got Ellis worked with the gave all the information that she could, everything that, could think of. She's 39 years old. Her mother is taking her children, living in Memphis, Tennessee, and she gets 3 years. She was the first one to roll over on him. As soon as they arrested her, she said, "Yep, he's guilty. He did it. What he did." She gets, listen, this is how backwards this case is, or was, because it's over. This is it, y'all. Justice has been served. But Tim says, because I've had an off and on relationship with Ellis, I'm going to give her $10,000. But my homeboy that was in my last music video, my homeboy that's been holding it down, I'm going to give him $5,000. Hey, Virtue, thank you so much. Thank you. That is so sweet. Listen, you gave your homeboy 5,000. There is power in the P, ain't it? Because Ellis got $10,000, but your homeboy only got five. Either you was running out of money, or there's power in the P. Hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. She gets 3 years. Now, people have been asking what happened to YL. Where's Wally? Well, Wally is found. Wally was not in the house. Remember when we were looking for Wally last year? Wally was not in the house. Okay, Wally was elsewhere. Okay, Wally was on vacation, but he found, and he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Norman fraudulently apply for several insurance policies, life insurance policy. So he's going to be in prison for 3 years, and Terica is going to serve her 3 years. And both of these people who did the lesser, and I feel like, okay, YL, in my opinion, did the lesser of, these four people. Because I feel like Tim manipulated him. That's how I feel. Even though I don't think Wally was that stupid. I think he probably started figuring things out and backed up after, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's that stupid. But Terica, I'm still having issues with Terica. Right, Mia. That's a slap in the face. And I'm having issues with Terica still saying that she didn't know that this was Tim's plan. Terica said, uh-uh, his boys was just gonna jump on him because of the robbery, at Miss Robbie's place. He wasn't, that's all he told me. I just will forever have an issue thinking that she actually believed this, but because so cooperative, you know, probably not, she's not gonna serve a whole thing of 3 years. Of course, they all ride the slow bus. They all ride the slow bus because I'm just not even your incredibly good liar. I don't know the lifestyle of a former stripper. I have no idea. I know that on Instagram a while back, she was, thanking God, for this, that, and the third. She had went live. She was faceless. She did not show her face, but you could see her, kids running around the background. There were people around her, and she was talking about, Terica was warning people about who you associate with and stuff like that. And she was, thanking God for, her life and this, that, and the other. So, I don't know if that was a social media attempt, you understand, as if, well, the FBI might be watching my social media, so I need to put some good things out here, type of thing. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. Gail, she had to know. She had to know. And I'm interested to know in knowing why she got $10,000, but the shooter only got five. How is that even like what happened? Because you said before now, you had said around the time of the music video that Travell was your homeboy. He was in your music videos, he was by your side, he was your ace. You've talked to Travell before. I don't know if he made an appearance on the show, but you've talked about him, several times. Mr. Travell Anthony Hill. How did he only get $1,000? To say stuff about me, whatever, but slow you may be, sir, because I'm not. I'm not. And I know. Do you guys remember what he said on the stand? He said, and I quote, "I was just supposed to scare him." How are you just supposed to scare somebody who doesn't even know you're there? Sir, did Andre even know you? Not to mention, do you guys remember this? I covered this last year. I showed you guys in a video, and I'm not sure if it was a live stream or if I recorded a video, but remember when Travell and Tim started following him on social media? They were following Andre on social media. They made fake pages on Instagram to track him and to see what he was doing. And Travell reported back to Tim and said, "Hey man, he took the bait." He said, "Yeah, he accepted my friend's request. He took the because after the show, Andre put his social media on private. Because remember, Oprah and her team were like, you have to take those pictures down. It's not a good representation of the show. People are watching your social media. And he decided that he wasn't going to do that. Andre was like, this is me. This is my life. This is the way I live. And I'm not going to take the pictures down. So we didn't see him anymore on the show because he had to leave. That was a breach of contract. So Travell and Tim decided they were going to track his every move. So remember, we showed you evidence of that. So Travell has been in Tim's life for a while. He didn't just pop up, you know. He was one of the guys that was in the front of the car on Tim's last music video. You can see him, we know what Travell looks like now, so you can see what he looks like. And I'm trying to figure out still $5,000? I've been through all of this. You had this man working for you undercover and making accounts and doing all this stuff, and all he got was $5,000. Child. Mia said that's the type of money, it's like money you get back from taxes. Exactly. Gail says she's not going to get 3 years from her ultimate judge, I guarantee. Honey, let me tell you, I hope that she gets saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. Because she's already admitted what she did. I just have a problem believing that I have a problem she didn't know. At least have an inkling in your mind that this could have happened. Like this could be, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have been like, Tim, are you sure this is, because I don't see nobody waiting in the bushes to jump Andre. And even if, wouldn't your conscience be like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think the authorities should handle this. You know what I'm saying? I think if you think that Andre did this, I feel like you probably should call the police. So Um, listen, whoever reported that Tim only got 43 years, you were sadly mistaken. Because I took the majority of my day to make sure this wasn't fake news, and I didn't see anything about 3 years. I looked over 6 reports and said 2 life sentences. So I'm not sure where the information came from, and if anybody was missing last week when I said it was a report from somebody else that was in the chat. If you run it back, I always have my chat up. So I do apologize. That was misinformation. I don't know um where that was in had came from somewhere else. And, whoever was on YouTube said that that's what I got, but it is not. It's in black on 6 different reports. So along with his pacer, um, 2 life sentences, 1 life sentence for each count. Okay, he's serving a life sentence at the request of Andre Montgomery's mother because this was well thought out. As stupid as it is, as Tim Norman is, he really thought that he was going to get away with this, and I'm going back to that cold-blooded, incredibly meditated plan execution of your nephew. That's what I was looking for. Michelle Griggs asked that Norman life putting this and orchestrating this together. That's what she was asking for. I know he did. I know he put this together. At that point in according to the Pacer documents, they pretty much had, you know, made a decision, in my opinion, just by looking at the paperwork. They had made it was like, listen, you're going down. The evidence is ironclad. I've not heard anything in this courtroom that could shake me or give me doubt that you were behind this. And after watching this for 2 years and, looking at this case and looking at the documents, unless I overlook something, I'm in total agreement with the FBI. There wasn't anything that could have possibly given me doubt. The only thing that gave me doubt in this case was his last team of attorneys. Because when I tell you they worked their butt off as if they were trying to get him off the death penalty, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen, though. So he kept paying. Look at how much money was thrown away. He kept paying, or some people speculate Miss Robbie kept paying that attorney after attorney after attorney, and we're talking about teams of attorneys, not just a attorney, but a firm. Wasn't it like 4? It was like 4 teams of attorneys. Imagine the price tag on that. Now, this is what I'm talking. This is what I'm hi Annette. This is what I want y'all about. Now, Miss Robbie did say earlier in this that, it doesn't matter. Tim is my son, and she doesn't know. She said, I don't know whether Tim did and convicted of or not. She said, he's still my baby that I bore, and I love him as every mother involved loves a child. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. I get it. But we are not going to overlook fact, Miss Robbie, that man had $1 million policy laid out with your name on it. And I know you know. I know you know. We all know. Everybody knows Okay, the FBI saw the documents. The documents are real. Per Wally, YL, the documents were in the courtroom, so we know unless you gave Tim permission, why would that even exist? And if you didn't give Tim permission, who signed the documents? Because don't you have to? You're alive. Wouldn't you have to sign the document? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I dropped my top somewhere. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I had to get my top. Gail says you can love your son and still know he's wrong. Sorry, Robbie, you sound silly. Mia says that I wouldn't have paid for all those attorneys. Wrong is wrong, son or no son. And there's still no evidence that she, paid out of pocket. When this whole thing first started 2 years ago, it was a private sector that was paying, but that was for the first team of attorneys. So we don't know who the private sector was. We don't know if it's Robbie or not, but speculation is that, it was Miss Robbie because, that's her son and she's been sticking beside him and she's going to love her son through the two life sentence convictions. Now, I have never visited anyone in prison. I don't know if, you've got two life sentences, so you're never going to get out of prison, never. And are you allotted? What about Tim's children? He has two sons. One's a lot younger than the other one. Are they ever going to meet? Are the brothers ever going to meet? Are they ever going to get to know each other? And then on top of that, will the youngest boy get to visit Tim Norman? And would you want your son to visit Tim Norman at the prison? This is a sticky situation. Per all of this other stuff, Janae was having a fit on social media a month before all of this started. Tim doesn't come and see his son, blah, blah, blah. Now he can't, even if you wanted to. Are you going to take your son to see him? Yeah, Mia's right. She lost both her sons and grandson. And Gail says it's been said that Tim didn't pay support. He has some documents that he paid some child support because we don't know the arrangements. We don't know if he was late on his, child support or not. I don't know. I have no idea. Now, this right here, this in court document, the 3rd, which is today at 6:06 a.m. Okay, so this was the latest one that I found, with more to say than any of the other articles, and it's safe to say that this is pretty much going to be the end of it. And I just say that because there's no reason to continue fighting. Um, there's no reason you fighting for this. There's no reason to continue to fight for Tim because this is number two. Number one, all of his, attorneys were like, we're appealing, we're appealing. The appeals were overturned, obviously. And now you have the sentencing, which is the two life sentences. So I'm not 100% sure um, where they plan with this at this point. For if it were me, I'd be like, no, I'm done. Um, Mia says it's sad all around. Nobody wins if you think about it. I mean, because you have, yeah, Andre's not, she has justice, justice is better for her son, but that's all you get. Gail says, I wouldn't take my son to a prison based on the charges. Maybe FaceTime if that's possible. I mean, yeah, you can FaceTime, and then later on, if he decides when he's older, and this goes for both of the children, if they want to see their, father, and at this time, little Timmy, he's very impressionable. We don't know what Janae has told him. We don't know if he's even allowed to see social media. So this is a very sticky situation because we don't know, their lifestyle. We don't know what goes on, at the house. So, you know, it's crazy. Does Timmy think about all this? Does he even know? Does he know about his dad? We don't know any of that. And keeping this case off of social media, like none of them are talking about this on social media. Not a lot of them have done interviews or whatever about this case on social media. Ms. Robbie probably put, you know, her foot down, on that with everybody. It's her son, so she was the one who did, the couple of interviews, and yeah, she probably said, no, we're not doing any of this. I kind of agree with you guys. I agree with what you guys are saying. Um, if FaceTime an option, I would say, yeah, that could be traumatizing to a child. Don't you guys think? I don't know what the process is for going. I've never done that before, except for with a whole ministry. You know what I'm saying? Like you go, but this was not prison. This was jail. I've never been in an actual prison. I've been in a jail before. The process is real easy. You just show your minister's license and you go through the doors or whatever, and then you go in this room. And in this room, you're separated with glass partitions, and you talk to the people and you pray with them, and have church service with them or whatever they need, and then you go home. But I don't know what the process is when you go see someone in prison. I don't know how traumatizing it could be, with the hearing the slamming of the bars and seeing a bunch of prisoners in these uniforms all over the place. I imagine, from just seeing it on TV, it could be pretty traumatizing. But for a kid, I don't know. Leave it to the son. Yeah, when he can process, and they're old enough, when they're old enough. Um, because that, you know what I'm saying? When you're about 15, 16, and you make that choice that, you want to see, dad, I want to ask some questions to ask. First of all, Janae, ain't no paying of the child support when you're locked down in prison. So you can forget that. And I forget the other mom's name, but I don't know if she's ever gotten child support, but it looks like they had a really good relationship. Look, you know, they were doing, and the baby be so excited to see him, and I mean, like he like he knows Tim. He knows Tim's face. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he would get so excited to see, his dada on the tablet. And it was just so sweet to see. Just a darling little boy. And I feel bad for children because this is like, he didn't even think the kids. He didn't think about his relationship with his girlfriend. He didn't think about, his kids. He was just thinking about, I'm in all this debt and how do I get out of it? And apparently, Andre Montgomery, his own nephew, was disposable. Mia said, I haven't been keeping up on the story. I wonder how Janae's doing. She's fine. She's a bodybuilder now. She's a bodybuilder. She's good. Visiting someone in prison is totally different than jail. It's a lot more secure with all that. I'm not doing that. And I mean, I'm sorry if I sound frigid about it or whatever, but I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing any of that. I mean, you shouldn't have done what you did to get in there. I'm not doing none of that. I'm sorry. Janae girl, you dodged a bullet. I believe she was in danger. Tim is ruthless. I mean, they used to have some really bad fights. Maybe when little Timmy is 18, maybe when he's 18, he's not that big. Big Tim isn't going anywhere. Yeah, he's not going anywhere unless he gets transferred from one prison to another for some reason. He's not going anywhere. I just kind of feel like, yeah, him and Janae didn't have a good relationship, in my opinion. Is he still obligated to pay child support though? How is he going to be able to pay child support? I mean, he's a prisoner. He can't go to work. To pay child support. And this falls on this will fall on his mom to pay the child support because he's not married. He wasn't married to the second lady. So, he's in prison and all of his debt, all of his bills and all that falls on his mother, Miss Robbie. Is that how that works? Because he, like I said, he doesn't have a spouse. I don't know how, lucrative his business was, but the one restaurant that he does own, is she gonna liquidate that restaurant or does she get it back? Like what actually happens in these cases? We don't know. I don't have anybody that I know that was ever in prison, so I don't know how this works. And has Janae actually married him, it would have been a disaster, in my opinion. You don't know if what do you call it? Therapy. I don't know if that could have been a thing. I don't know if that could have worked. I don't know. I don't know. That would have been one of the books because it just on TV it looked horrible. It did. It really did. It looks horrible on television. Like the way that they used to argue, the way he would be, outside banging on the door. And you could tell that Tim had a really bad temper. You could tell that he had a really bad temper. I mean, Tim Norman is a big guy. Whether he was muscular, or not, he was pretty thick. Yeah, I now that I would have to think that that's true. That he was seeing Terica behind Janae's back. Because my thing is, okay, he's going to the strip clubs, he meets Terica. Terica and Tim, develop some sort of relationship. They called it an off and on again thing. Even though, he claimed that Janae was the love of his life and he wasn't doing anything behind her back. So you're saying that, according to the timeline of him and Terry's relationship, that's the reason for their fights, I believe. I'm almost certain. I would have to agree. Something was going on. He was doing something. Hi, Annette. Annette says that Robbie didn't lose a son and grandson. She has a son who executed her grandson through others. Andre, remember Andre? Robbie. Right. I think she know, Gail. I think she absolutely knew, because she would bring it up and, she would say, "Oh, you're at the restaurant. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing that. I was at the restaurant. I didn't see you there. What time did you leave? What time did you come back?" Like, if I have to be in a relationship where all of that is going on, me though, but I understand that, and it was just a whole lot that, and it will be arranged. It'll have to be arranged, or the government or something. No, because like I said, he's in going to work. There's no work release. It's not jail. He's in prison. So, and it was just in a net, like you said something right there, because oh my God, like he didn't think about anybody. This was definitely selfish. That's something else that I would have said if I had been the judge. I would have been like, and this was also selfish for you to do something like this. Mia says that Janae so unhappy, and she seemed like she was she was the brains with helping when she didn't have to. Her and Miss Robbie had a really great relationship. Robbie was, always there for Janae. And so I feel like, um, and what I like, and this is how I feel, what I like about it is that Janae and Robbie kept a good relationship for the sake of the baby, even when Janae and Tim, were on the outs. Even when Janae and Tim, were just doing horrible, or they broke up for the, 26th time or whatever, Miss Robbie, was still nice to Janae, still on her side, still loving her grandson. And, that's a good way, to be. I don't feel like Miss Robbie is a bad person. I don't feel like she's somebody who, would stab you in the back or anything like that. Yes, we're having very bad weather. Yes. But I can hear myself in the monitor. I'm sorry. You may have to go out and come back in, because I'm hearing myself pretty good, so I'm not sure what's going on, Annette. Wondered what Janae saw in Tim. I'm not trying to be funny. Uh, the childbearing hips is a turnoff. Now we saw, the newly reformed Tim. He looked good. I'm not gonna lie. He looked some eye candy. Not gonna lie. You know, he had them jailhouse in the jailhouse or whatever. But over time, working at Sweetie Pies, over time, working at Sweetie Pies can make you a little thick. Eat a cooking every day can give you hips. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he's like ugly. I don't think he's ugly. I think he's silly. I don't think he's the brightest, crayon in the box. Well, they did the first appeal when he was found guilty. And, they went straight into appeals and that. And so I think this is it. It's over. There's no appealing to life. I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely to go in and think. I don't think he can appeal anymore, to be honest. But he just lost the weight, Yeah, they said he was because he's not gonna eat that food. He's bougie. And you don't have Uber Eats in prison, Tim. So I mean, sorry, sir. I don't know if you have it in good with the cook at the prison or whatever, if they can make you something special. I don't know. But there's not gonna be any Uber Eats or any of that stuff uh, in prison. I don't know if they can sneak you some good food in every now and then. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's going to I think every now and then, or something like that, just because he's Tim Norman. But you're a number, and you get behind those bars like you're processed. You're a number, just like everybody else. I don't even think that he has enough clout to work on his music in prison. Um, Gail says, "Twana, you're trying to be nice." Tim was beyond thick. I never talked about people, but I make an exception for his hipsy hustle. And that was child televised, not even a little bit. You had to have the passcode to get into the trial on Zoom if you wanted to see some of it. So no, no. And Gail called the man Hipsy Hustle. Oh my God. Well, let me tell you something. Hipsy Hustle, um, this is your last go. Unless a miracle happens, this is it. It's over. And we will not be doing this again. We won't be talking about Norman on this again. So listen, if you love me and my personality and you think I'm all things cool or whatever, keep your subscription or hit the subscribe button or whatever. Y'all are cool. Well, he doesn't have big anything anymore because he's skinny. Like he's skinny at this point. Yeah, he's skinny now. Okay, listen. We're gonna end this. Oh my God, not double D's. Okay, we're gonna get out of here because y'all are cutting up. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me over the 2.5 years um with this whole Tim Norman case. It has been a pleasure meeting a lot of you guys. I've met some really great people, and I really appreciate you guys toughing it out. Gail said, "Oh, so he's trying to look good for in prison." I don't know if he's trying to look good or not. I just feel like he's not eating the food. I don't think he likes, jail food or prison food. I don't think he's going to eat that stuff, very much. So, I mean, you think about it, you've been eating, good food for years since you got out of prison the first time. So, feel like that, saying. So, I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging in there with me while we, went through this. I'm glad that it ended the way that it did because, oh my goodness, like I said, a minute there, I thought, his attorneys may have been able, to do something, get him a lighter sentence or whatever. I was like, I don't know. It's not, at that, final hour, it wasn't looking good. And oh my goodness. And Gail says, he's the only one I ever talked about like this on YouTube. He deserves my wrath. Listen, horrible, despicable, ruthless, selfish. Justice has been served. I'm very happy. And one of the things that I'm like proud of, I'm just tooting my own horn. I never got sued, never got flagged by YouTube, never got reported by anybody on YouTube in the whole 10 and a half years of talking about this case. So I'm very proud of that because a lot of people were all on YouTube, with lawsuits and all kinds of stuff. It all started with the Cardi B thing with, I'm just happy that I was not in that number. Covering cases like this can be very dangerous, um, to the lifespan of your we were never in any danger of being shut down or sued or any of the things. Annette says Tim's plan was thought up over years. He was just paying his premiums and yeah, waiting it out. Andre knew he was in. Yeah, Andre had said, um, if anything happens to me, you should look at Tim Norman. If anything ever happens to me, you need to look at Uncle Tim. Could you imagine saying that? Could you imagine knowing that in your heart? If anything ever happens to me, you should look at Uncle Tim. Seriously? That's insane. Like at that point in my life, I wouldn't even put the uncle on it. I would just, Tim Norman. His name is Tim Norman. He's not an uncle of mine. We're not family. Because just because you're blood related doesn't make you family, right? I'm just saying. Stay connected. All right, guys, stay connected. We're going to be having fun over here. It's going to be some different content. As you can see, I started filling in the gaps already, but stay connected with me. Don't just run off because we're not talking about Tim Norman. I'd like to see y'all from time to time. Just throw your hand up and say hey in the comments or, tea, something like that. But thank you guys. And the majority of y'all, I remember, seeing you guys and talking to you guys, and oh my God, we had hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people that talked over the years, over the last 2.5 years of this case. Jeez. Yes, we know Gail. He's a rabid dog. Gail is not letting up. Like I said, Tim is a rabid dog. Gail, this is why I miss you. So But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. This stream. One thing about this live stream, I will tell you, it has aggravated. Ratchet live stream. I think like maybe it's haunting the live stream or something. Like something is going on with the live stream. I think Tim is no, I think Tim Norman is like, putting, voodoo or something over all the live streams. If anybody got Tim, probably sprinkling some voodoo over, the air or, internet going, you won't talk about me today. Annette says it's chilling when you think about the darkness of the soul that could make him turn a completely false to everyone, his family during these years. He waited to cash in on his nephew. That's the last thing. Thank you, Gail. That's the last thing I would have been thinking. when it came to biz, Tim was smart in a sense, but he just didn't know, execution. He wanted to be the boss, and um he wanted to be the boss. He didn't want to take direction to be the boss of everything. So I kind of feel like, even he had some really great ideas for the business and everything. If he had just worked with Miss Robbie and respected her as the boss, because it was her empire, we haven't inherited it yet. You know what I'm saying? And so I think if he had just, did that, redirected a little bit, kind of worked with his mom, for real, and the rest of people, it could have been a hit. It could have been a success, and it could have been an empire on top of an empire. Leave the rap game because you're not. I mean, listen, I don't listen to rap that much anyway, so I don't really care one way or the other. But if nobody was buying your music, I'm just saying. Most of the night, I wondered about the hate Tim felt towards Andre. It's demonic. I mean, it's not a good thing. And that's a hereditary continuous sound. Oh, love your threat investigations and reporting, Tawana. Thank you so much. I don't enjoy doing this. I do not. I did this for y'all because I do not enjoy this, but I will be doing some actions and stuff like that on with my vlog and stuff. So if y'all want to hear my unpopular about some things, just stay tuned. I'm gonna get out of here for real this time. I'm gone. I'm out. But I love you guys so much. Remember to live on with you guys, and I will talk to you in another live stream or a video. Stay connected to me because I love you guys. I will talk to you guys some more. I'm probably gonna be trying to go live at least once a week. In between my upload, I have some really cute shorts that are up. So if you guys want to get some of my content, feel free. I'll be throughout the day, every day. So, anyway, I love you guys so much, and thank you again for hanging in there with me and, being a part of this podcast for the last 2.5 years while we covered Tim Norman. And this is the end of an era, and justice has been served. 2 life sentences for Tim Norman. And hey, Janet. And yeah, prayers go out to Andre's family and his friends, and congratulations to the family, because even though we don't get Andre back, justice has been served.